Hello, Kathie here. Welcome to my channel, Yoga by Kathie. Today's class will be a 60-minute power yoga class. So we're going to explore some different movements connected with Vinyasa flows and hoping to get your body moving and awake for the rest of your day. I have a block with me, so this is an option that you can use to support your practice. Totally optional. So when you're ready, let's get started. Alright, so we're going to get started on our backs today. Making your way down onto your back. We're going to grab our block. If you don't have a block, just keep your knees bent, feet on the ground. If you do have your block, we're going to lift the hips up. Take the block either on its flattest side or you can flip it up if you have a nice sturdy surface. Placing the hips on top of the block. We're going to take an inhale, reach the arms up overhead, start to turn out the wrists. Stretch through the fingers and slowly see if you can extend the legs in front, one at a time, opening up through the hip flexors, through the front of the body. Take a big breath in, stretch up through your fingertips. As you exhale, slowly relax. Allow the arms to bend, opening up cactus arms. We'll take a few deep breaths here in our supported waterfall shape to center and prepare for practice. Taking a few deep breaths in and out through your nose. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the hips. Feeling the belly rise as you breathe in, taking a deep breath. Inhale, filling up through the belly. Expanding through the rib cage. And as you exhale, breathing out all the way down towards the base of the spine. So we'll spend a few more breaths here to center our bodies, center our minds. Notice if there's any distractions that we can let go of. Taking a moment to acknowledge those thoughts. And then with the exhale, slowly breathe out and release. Begin to tune in to the natural rhythms of your breath. Breathing in a little bit deeper and a little bit longer. And taking 3 more deep breaths at your own pace. Using this breath to guide you through the next 60 minutes of practice. Slowly we'll release the arms, bring them back down beside the body, bend the knees. Bring the feet in one at a time. Take an inhale, press down to the feet. Lifting up through the hips, slide the block out from under. We're going to pull the right knee in towards the chest. Continue to press down through the low back. We're going to shift the hips over to the right and draw the knee across the body towards the opposite side. And slowly start to roll your head over, gazing towards your right fingertips. So leg towards the left, head over to the right. Slowly bring the head back into center. Inhale, release. And we'll switch sides. Pull the left knee in towards the chest. Right leg points forward. Interlace the fingers around the shin. Give yourself an inhale as you pull the knee up towards your shoulder. On the exhale, find a little compression. Hug the knee in. Press the low back down into the ground. And we'll release, shift the hips over to the left as we draw this left leg across to the right. Arm can come out for balance. Rolling the head, gazing towards the left fingertips away from the top leg. Twisting through the spine. One more breath. Exhale, bring the head back into center, release. We're going to place the feet down onto the ground, a little bit wider than hip distance. Reach your hands forward, make sure you can touch the back of your heels. So we're measuring the distance of our feet, planting them down firmly. Let's come into a few floating bridges. So pressing down into your hands, into your feet. We're going to lift the hips up, start to roll your way up into the shoulders. Keep the head neutral, try not to turn your head from side to side. Exhale, we're going to roll down upper back, mid back, low back to the ground. Inhale, press down, lift the hips. Continue to squeeze the knees in towards the center line. Keep the quads active, strengthening out through the glutes. Exhale, we lower back down. One more time, inhale to rise. This time, reach the arms up overhead, stretch through the fingers. And deep exhale, bring everything back down to the floor. We're going to grab for our blocks. Don't worry, if you don't have a block, you can do this all on the ground without any props. So if you do have a block, go ahead and reach for that. Place it underneath your right foot. So our feet are still in the same alignment in bridge, except our right foot is going to be slightly elevated, standing on a block. So let's take an inhale, breathe in, drive the hips up. We're going to find some balance here. Transfer the weight into your right leg, press down to the feet. Inhale, we're going to pick up the left leg, one-legged bridge pose. On the exhale, we're going to kick up and extend through your toe. Flex and point the ankles a few times. Staying strong. Breathe in, lift. As we exhale, we're going to point the left toes forward. Drop the hips down to hover 1 inch above the ground. Inhale, press to lift. Exhale, lower to hover. Start to move with your breath. Inhale, kick up high. Squeeze the glutes. Exhale to lower and hover. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. 1 more time. Inhale, point. Exhale, drop down to hover. And let's slowly release. Slide the block over underneath the left foot. Take a moment to set up to prepare. All right, so measure out. Make sure you can touch the back of the block and the back of your ankle. So once you're ready, let's press down into the hands and feet. Drive the hips up. Inhale, rolling up into the shoulder. So neck stays neutral. Weight is in the shoulder blades and in the triceps. Transfer the weight over to your left leg, right leg, in towards the chest. Exhale, we kick all the way up. Flex and point your toes a few times. Turn out the ankles. Staying balanced. Breathe in, lift. Exhale, we drop the right leg forward. Point the toes. Lower the hips to hover. Inhale to lift up high. Exhale, we lower. Moving with the breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale to lower. 2 more. Inhale, rise. Exhale to lower down. Last time. And let's release. Come down to the ground. Move the block away off to the side. Let's hug the knees in. Wrap the arms around. Give yourself a gentle rock from side to side. And we're going to rock along the length of our spine. Bring a little movement to the body. And let's come up into seated pose. So sitting up, you can keep your ankles crossed. Sit up onto a block if you need to lift and elevate your hips. Let's take a deep breath in, reaching the arms up. Interlace the fingers. Turning the palms up, stretch through your elbows. Press the palms upwards. We're going to tip from side to side. Tip over to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Moving with the breath. Inhale, lift through center. Exhale, tip. Continue to drop your sit bones down. Try to keep your hips rooted on the floor. 1 more time, side to side. Inhale, lift. Exhale to the right. Back to center. Over to the left. And coming back to the middle, let's take the hands in front of the shins. We'll take a few seated cats and cows to warm up the spine. So breathing in, lifting the heart forward and up. Exhale, we lean back, chin to chest. Inhale, lifting through the heart. Exhale, chin to chest, lean back. Begin to move with your breath. Inhale, arching through the spine. Exhale, chin to chest. We'll take a few more rounds here, breathing with your own breath pattern. So to exaggerate the movement. And we're going to lean over towards the right, make some big circles through the base of the spine. As you come back, lean back, turning forward, stretch the heart forward, rotating through the trunk. One more time, going right to left, coming up to center. We'll switch sides, so lean over to the left side. Long spine coming forward. As you come back, lean back. One more cycle. Lean back to the left, to the right, and coming back, inhale to center. Let's come forward into a table position. Press down into your hands, hips over the knees, fingers spread, index, middle finger pointing forwards. We're gonna curl the toes under. Inhale, lift the hips, up and back, come into our first downward facing dog. We're gonna take a moment here to pedal out the feet. Dropping the heels, pedal out side to side. On the next breath in, we'll pick up the right leg, inhale into a three-legged dog. Look forward, step that foot to the top of the mat. Left hand down. Inhale, reaching up for an easy twist. Twisting from the torso, reaching the arm all the way up. Option to reach back, bring your elbow towards the low back for a half bind. Inhale to release, come back to center, reach the arms down, and we'll step back into downward facing dog. Picking up the left leg, inhale, lift up. Exhale, step it forward. Right hand to the ground, inhale, lift up. Easy twist. Reaching the top arm up. Option to bend the elbow. Bring the hand back towards the low back for a half bind, opening up through the top shoulder. And let's exhale, release the hands down. Take a big step forward, landing at the top of your mat. Bend and pedal out your feet, dropping the chest forward. And we'll release, press down, inhale, breathing in, hands together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's start with a few sun salutations to warm up the body. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, hands to the floor or shins, look forward, come to a halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands down, we'll step back into our high plank. So from our high plank, heels are pushing back, shoulder, elbows, wrists are aligned. We're gonna drop the knees down for the first round. Look forward, shift your body weight forward, shoulders past the wrists. Exhale, we bend the elbows, lowering down to the ground. Pressing into the hands, inhale, lift the chest into cobra. Exhale, we release. Curl the toes, lift the hips, lift the knees, downward facing dog. Looking to the front, step your feet through. Inhale as you arrive, look forward, halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Reverse swan dive, come back up to stand. Inhale, hands together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale, lifting up. Exhale, we swan dive forward. Inhale to a halfway lift, hands on floor, shins. Find that flat back. Exhale, plant the hands down, step or hop back into your high plank. This time staying on your toes, or you can drop down onto the knees. We're gonna shift forward, high plank. On the exhale, we bend the elbows, lower down halfway, keep the elbows in, squeezing to your rib cage. Inhale into cobra, where we flip over onto our feet, press down to the hands, lift the thighs off the ground, upward facing dog. Exhale, lift the hips up and back, downwards facing. Gazing forward, step, hop, or walk your feet to the top of the mat. As you arrive, inhale, look forward, halfway lift. Exhale, bow down and fold. Reverse swan dive, pressing to your feet. Inhale, let's come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. One last time, inhale, reaching up. Try to move with the breath, one movement. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant the hands down, step or hop back with the breath out. Knees or toes, we lower down, halfway squeeze, low plank. Inhaling through, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing. Gaze to the front, step or hop the feet through. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. We reverse swan dive, pick up the hands, reaching the arms all the way up, hands together. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're gonna grab for our blocks. So go ahead and pick up your block. We're gonna place it in between the thighs, right above the knee. So we wanna make sure our feet are still hip distance apart. We're gonna reach the arms out, keep your feet parallel underneath the hips. Reaching the arms, taking a breath in. Exhale, we're gonna sink the hips down, come into chair pose. So the weight is pulling back into the hips, into the heels. Continue to squeeze the knees in together. If you don't have a block, try to bring the knees in towards the midline of the body. Now relax the shoulders, lift the chest, hands reaching forward. See if you can come back, pull the weight behind to your heels, lifting all 10 toes off the floor, sink a little bit lower. And breathe. Now we'll keep our gaze focused, so find a point in front of you, you can keep your focus. We're gonna shift forward onto the toes, heels lifting off the ground, come into awkward pose. So stretching into the arches of the feet, into the ankles. You can lower down one more inch. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale smoothly all the way up to stand. Holding here, standing tall, continue to lift up to the heels. Keep your gaze focused for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Come into a forward fold, diving down. Exhale. Taking a breath in, looking forward, halfway lift, lift the heart. Exhale, plant the hands down, step or hop back. And let's go through our flow. Knees or toes, we lower halfway. Inhale, cobra or upwards facing dog. Exhale, downward facing. Preparing for warrior one on the right side. We'll lift the right foot, look forward. Step that foot to the top of the mat, drop the back foot down. Pressing into your feet, inhale, we lift up. Allow your hips to sink down, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, release the hands back down to the floor, step it back. Knees or toes, let's move through our flow. One breath, one movement. Preparing for warrior one on the left. Left foot lifts up. Look forward, steps in between the hand. Right foot out onto a 45-degree angle. Inhale, pressing into your feet, bending through the front knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Hands can come together or slightly apart. Active fingertips. And release and take the hands down to the ground. Step it back. Moving through our Vinyasa flow. One breath, one movement. Gazing forward, step or hop the feet to the top of the mat. Taking a breath in as you arrive, look forward, halfway lift. Exhale, we bow and fold. Let's come up into chair pose, sink the hips back, squeeze the knees together, reaching the arms up and forwards, sinking the hips down. And release, inhale all the way up, hands together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Taking 3 breaths here in mountain pose. Taking a moment to reconnect with the breath. And we'll slowly release. Keeping your right foot forward, we're going to step the left foot back, setting up for warrior 1 position. So right toes are going to be pointing forward, left foot on an angle. Our hips and twist a few times to the right side. So squaring our hips up to the front of the mat. Allow the front knee to bend, coming directly over the ankle, stacking the joints. Inhale, we'll reach the arms up. And breathing here. Option to keep your arms extended, or we take eagle arms. Right arm comes underneath your elbows. Grab for shoulders, or we come into full eagle bind. Tightly wind up through the arms, open up to the upper back, breathing into the shoulder blades. Let's inhale, lift the elbows, reaching up high. Exhale, pull the elbows down towards the chest. Inhale to lift. Notice if you can feel the stretch through the traps, through the deltoids. One more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, pull it back down. Keeping your arms where they are or release, we're going to take ourselves forward. Start to hinge from your hips, diving down, humble warrior. Bowing towards the ground, keeping the weight in your feet even. Continue to press down into that back foot. One more breath. And we'll slowly release, press down, inhale all the way up, releasing your arms. Let's reach the hands back, take a counter stretch, interlace the fingers or grab onto forearms. Breathing in, inhale, lift the heart, reach the arms away, take into a slight back bend, chest stays lifted, reaching the arms away. And exhale, release, warrior 2. Keep your right toes forward, adjust your back foot. Making our way into warrior 2 position. So we want our hips to sink down, shoulders directly over our hips, front knee over the ankles, pressing evenly into your front and back foot, grounding down to the outer edges of your back foot. We'll reach forward, turn the palms open, inhale, exalt your warrior, reach up and back. Continue to lunge forward through the front knee as you start to stretch, reaching behind, stretching through the right side of the obliques. Inhale, we come up, warrior 2. We're going to connect these 2 postures. So as you breathe in, we're going to turn the palm open, reach up and back. Exhale, come forward, warrior 2. Inhale, reach back. Option, take your bottom hand, reach it behind, looking for a half bind. And as you come forward, stay in your warrior 2. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, come forward. One more time. Exhale. We're going to straighten out the front leg, triangle pose, so both knees stays extended. We're going to reach the right fingertips forward, left hip back. When you can't reach forward anymore, we're going to tip from the hip, reaching the hand down onto the floor or onto the shin. Bottom hand can come down onto a block. Raise the floor up towards you. Option to bring your top hand towards your lower back, finding that half bind. One more breath. And let's release. Inhale, left arm towards the sky. We're going to stretch it forward towards the front bicep, close to the ears. Reach the fingertips forward. Feel a nice stretch along the side of the hip all the way up. through the obliques into your fingertips. So we're going to take 3 breaths here. Keep your bottom hand on the floor, or we come up onto our fingers. If you can go a little bit more, take that arm up, stretch both hands forward, holding here, engage the core for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Release. Inhale, come to center. Pivot the feet, come into a wide-legged forward fold stance. Taking your hands on your hips. Let's take an inhale to lift the heart. Exhale, we hinge forward, diving all the way down. Hands can come onto the ground or onto a block. We take a breath in, inhale, look forward, halfway lift. Exhale, we bow and fold, dropping the chest, dropping the head. Hands are in line with your feet. Allow the weight to shift forward from your heels to your toes. So picking up the weight, moving it forward without lifting the feet off the ground. One more breath. Slowly release. Inhale, look forward, come up halfway. Exhale. We're going to heel toe the feet in a little bit closer. Allow the toes to point out, heels to point in. We're going to stand up tall, facing the long side of our mat. Taking a deep breath in, we're going to reach the arms up. As we exhale, start to bend into your wide squat. Bend the elbows, cactus arms. Inhale, press to lift. Exhale, we're going to bend. Inhale to rise, lift up high. Exhale, draw the shoulder blades in together as you squeeze and open through the chest. 2 more. With the breath, inhale, lift. Exhale, coming back to center and slowly release. We're going to turn to face the back side of our mats, setting up for warrior 1. So left toes are pointing forward, right foot is out onto a 45-degree angle. So take a moment to adjust your feet, make sure you're set up. Bouncing a few times into your hips. Allow the front knee to bend directly over the ankle. We'll sweep the arms up, reaching the hands up high, warrior 1 position. Now option to come to eagle arms, take your left arm, cross it underneath. Grab for opposite shoulders, or come into full eagle bind, wrap the forearms together, palms together. Squeezing, pulling everything down towards the chest. Now let's take a deep breath in, reaching the elbows up high. Exhale, pull it down towards your chest. Inhale to lift. Exhale, elbows in. One more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, pull it in. Turning to the inside of the front leg. Slowly, we're going to hinge from our hips, diving down. Continue to press into your back foot, finding even balance, humble warrior. Allowing your chest to get heavy, dropping forwards. One more breath. And we'll slowly release. Inhale, come all the way back up. Releasing your arms. Let's take a counter stretch. Reach your arms behind, grabbing for elbows or wrists, or interlace your fingers. Well, inhale, lift the chest, reach the arms back. Breathing into the front of the body, open through the heart. And exhale, coming forward, warrior 2. Adjust your back foot. So your right foot will come out a little bit wider. Left toes pointing forward. We'll bounce a few times into the hips. Allow the knee to come over the ankle. Back foot is flat on the ground. We'll inhale, stretch the arms out opposite directions. Taking a few breaths in warrior 2. Strong through the legs. Turning the palm open, exalt your warrior, reach up and back. Continue to press forward through that left knee, reach the arm back behind you. Exhale, coming forward. Now let's connect these 2 postures. Inhale, turn the palm open, exalt your warrior, reach back. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reach up and back. Option to pick up your right hand, place it towards your low back or sacrum. Exhale back to warrior two. 2 more times with your breath. Last one. Slowly extending through your front knee, triangle pose. We're going to stretch the left fingertips forward, right hip back. Exhale, we tip and revolve. Bottom hand onto the floor, onto fingertips, or onto a block. So remember to lift the floor up towards you. We want to keep our chest lifted, pulling the shoulder back. Right shoulder stacked on top of left. Option to keep this top hand lifted, or we swing it back behind, looking for that half bind, reaching towards the sacrum. One more breath. And we'll take the gaze down to the floor, reaching the top hand. We're going to sweep it forward, bicep close to the ears. Arm is parallel to the ground. Option to come up onto your bottom fingertips. Stay here where we pick up both arms, stretch it forward like you're trying to clap the hands together, holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Inhale, come to center, pivot, and we'll face the long side of our mats. Taking a breath in, inhale, look forward, halfway lift. Exhale, we bow and fold. This time we'll reach behind our backs, interlace the fingers. Inhale, stretch up overhead. You can grab onto elbows or forearms as well. Slowly exhale, releasing the shoulders, gently sway from side to side. So our knees are slightly bent. We're not locking out the knee joints completely. Continue to let the knees bend as you lift up through the sit bones, dropping the chest down. One last breath here. Exhale, we release. Gently release the hands. Catch it on the floor. Inhale, press to lift the heart up, flat back. Exhale, heel toe the feet in closer together. Let the toes turn out, heels in. Catch your hips. Inhale, we stand up to rise. So finding our balance this time. We'll lift up through the hands. So we're going to keep our gaze focused on a spot in front of us. Lifting up onto the toes, lift your heels off the ground. And let's come into our wide squat, see if you can keep the heels lifted. If not, drop them down on the ground. Exhale, we bend, lift the heels, stay balanced. Inhale, press to lift, grow tall, reach the arms up. Exhale, we sink down. Inhale, press to lift. Squeeze the thighs, squeeze your glutes. Exhale to lower. 2 more, inhale, reach. Exhale, come to center. Last time, inhale, lift. Exhale, sink and hold. We're going to stay here. Keep the heels lifted for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down slowly. Inhale, straighten out the knees. And let's come up to stand. We're going to keep the knees bent. Take your hands to the inner thighs. Rock from side to side to find a stable base. We're going to stretch out our shoulders here. The heels are pointing in, toes are pointing out. Nice wide base. Taking a breath in to lift the heart. Exhale, we're going to drop the right shoulder to the center line. So twist, push your right hand against the thigh, bring the shoulder to the middle. Twisting through the spine, evenly distribute the weight between your feet. Maybe we turn our gaze towards the back wall. Inhale, come back to center. Let's switch sides. Left shoulder comes to center. Left hand presses into the inner thigh. Drop the shoulders to the middle and twist. And slowly release, come back to center. Straighten out your knees. Heel toe the feet to the top of the mat. Swing the hands down. Let's step back into our high plank. From here, we're going to place the right hand to the center. We're going to turn and find our side plank. So a few options here. Keep your feet scissor for balance. Bottom leg can come down as a kickstand. Or we can stack our feet. So make sure our shoulder, elbows, wrists are aligned, and we're pressing the weight into our fingertips to take some of the pressure out of our wrists. So pressing down into your feet, lift the hips, reaching the top arm up, finding our side plank. Option to pick up this top leg, lift it up, or maybe bend the knee, come into a tree pose. Lots of options. Finding your version of plank. We're gonna breathe and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back to center and we'll switch sides. Left hand to the middle. Pivot. Bottom leg can drop down. Scissor your feet for balance. Or stacking the feet together. So imagine that there's a string tied to your hip that's lifting it up higher. So you really want to pick up the hips lifted away from the floor. And that's going to come from using the strength of your legs. You need to press down into your feet and let's lift. Option to pick up the top leg. Maybe bend the knee, come into tree pose. Finding your variation, we're going to breathe and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great work. Coming back to center. Let's take a flow here. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, knees to the ground, feet together, push the hips back. Take a few breaths, child's pose. Dropping the chest, dropping the head. Block can come underneath the forehead. Hands can sweep back towards the feet. And we'll slowly release. Inhale, look forward. Release the block. And we'll come take a seat. Releasing the feet forward. Walking the feet in, taking our hands towards the back of the thighs. So we're going to sit up tall, preparing for boat pose. Roll your shoulders back, keep the chest lifted. We're going to pick up one foot and then the other. Pull the hands in towards you, hug the knees in, sit up tall, shoulders back, chest lifted. So from here, see if you can pick up your hands, reaching them forward, finding your half boat, unsupported half boat. Maybe we extend one knee, maybe the other. Come into full boat extension. Point the toes, engage the core, hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands to heart center. We're going to start with the knees bent. Take a breath in. Exhale, right elbow to the outside of your left leg. Inhale to center. Exhale, we twist. Inhale, bring it back to center. As we twist this time, opposite foot extends forward, finding your twisted boat. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist. Back to center. One more time on each side. Twist to the left. Twist to the right. Inhale, come back to center, finding your boat. Supported, half or extended, or unsupported. We're going to hold and breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Cross your ankles. Let's come forward all the way down onto our belly. And let's stretch out through the abdominals, coming up into Sphinx pose. So grabbing for opposite elbows, shoulders stacked over the elbows, finding alignment in our spine. We're going to bend the knees and reverse windshield wiper the hips from side to side. So allow the hip bones to melt down towards the floor. Coming back into center, release the feet down onto the ground. Press down into your forearms. Pretend that you're dragging the hands back, using that pressure to lift the chest. Heart comes forward. Breathing into the low and mid back. Option to stay here, or we turn it up a little bit higher, taking your hands out to the side for seal pose. So our fingers are going to be spread, pointing outwards. Coming up, pressing into your palms, we lift the forearms off the ground. So let's check how this feels, especially in your low back. You don't want to find too much compression or tension through the lumbar spine. So taking a breath in seal, exhale, allow the hips to melt down, shoulders down. See how this feels. And if it feels okay, you can walk the hands back in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, melt the hips down, drop the shoulders. So finding your placement of seal or Sphinx pose. We'll take 3 deep breaths to release the front of the body or the abdominals. And we'll slowly release, coming back down. If you're on your forearms, we'll place the hands underneath our shoulders. Tuck the toes under, give yourselves a push. Coming up into a table position. We're going to extend the right toes back, take a breath in. Exhale, bring the right knee behind the right elbow, standing up for a pigeon pose. We're going to stretch the left leg all the way back and behind. Now if you find that your hip is tilting over to one side, place the block underneath your right sit bones. Allow your hips to come up a little bit more level. Taking a breath in to lift the heart. Exhale, we start to dive down onto your forearms, maybe dropping the head. Option to bring your pigeon into a twist. So you can take our right elbow, place it to the outside of the foot, hands together. Inhale to lift. Exhale, finding that twisted pigeon. And we'll slowly release. If you're on your forearms, make your way back up onto your hands. Inhale to lift the chest. Curl the toes under, lift the hips, lift the knees, remove the block. And let's step back, downward facing dog to stretch it out. Preparing for the left side. Inhale, left leg up, left knee behind the left wrist. Stretch your right toes all the way back and behind. So again, check the weight distribution between your hips. Block can come underneath the left hip if that feels more supportive for you. So sitting up nice and tall, take a breath in, lift the heart. Exhale, we swan dive forward, finding length in the spine as we come down onto your forearms or onto your hands. You can also place a block underneath the forehead for a little bit more supportive passive stretch. You can stay here or take our twist. Bring your left elbow to the outside of the sole of the foot, hands together in prayer. Exhale, twisting. And we'll release, slowly come back to center, make your way up onto your hands. If you're on your forearms, curl the toes, lift the knee, step back. One more stretch in downward facing dog. Take a look forward, jump the feet through, and we'll take a seat. Both legs extending forwards. And reach the hands back. Bend the knees, preparing for a reverse tabletop position. So our fingers are going to be facing the toes, about 2-3 inches behind the sit bones. Feet are hip distance apart. Let's take a deep breath in, drive down into your hands and feet. Lift the hips, come into reverse table. So keep our chin tucked in towards the chest for now. Try not to release the neck all the way back. We're going to shift forward and back. And see how that feels in your ankles and wrists. You can take it from side to side, bring a gentle motion, swaying left to right, maybe pausing in a particular place. Give it a little bit of extra stretch to the wrists or the ankles. And we'll slowly release, come back down to the ground. We're going to do this one more time. Option 2, stay in the same position that we were just in with knees bent. Or we can kick it up a notch, place the big toes together, extending completely through the knees. So taking a deep breath in. On the exhale, we press down to the hands and feet, coming up, reverse plank or reverse tabletop. From here, if you're balanced, you can go ahead and drop the head back. See how that feels through the back of the neck in your spinal extension. One more breath wherever you are. Tucking the chin in first, and then we lower all the way back down towards the floor. Keeping both legs extended, toes pointing up, flex through the ankles. Let's sit up tall, taking a breath in. Exhale, diving forward, dropping the chest, dropping the head. Just allowing your body to fall wherever it lands. Come into a passive seated forward fold. Finding a little bit of release for our hamstrings and our glutes. And let's slowly release. Inhale to lift the chest. Walk your hands back into center. Bring your right foot to the outside of the left leg, preparing for half Lord of the Fish pose. So a few options here. Bottom leg can stay extended, or you can bend the knees, swing that foot back. Bring it in line with your sit bones. We're going to hug the arm around. Right arm comes back. Inhale the left arm to extend. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Sitting up nice and tall. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale to twist. Slowly release, unwind over to the other side, bowing to counter stretch. Inhale, coming back up to center. We'll switch sides. Pick up your left leg, cross it to the outside of the right. Hug the knee in. So see how it feels with leg extended. If there's room to go a little bit deeper, you can swing that foot back. Make sure both sit bones are on the ground. So if your sit bones lifted in this position, try to take the leg back out. So finding your version here, left arm comes back. We'll take an inhale, right arm up. Exhale, right elbow to the outside, the left knee sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, seated twist. Grow tall through the crown of the head as you inhale. Exhale, we sink the sit bones down and twist, maybe looking back behind the shoulder. One more breath. And let's slowly release, head back into center. Release your legs, release your feet. Now let's make our way down onto the ground, onto our backs. Hugging the knees in, rocking side to side. And let's release the legs down onto the ground. We're going to cross the right knee over the left, making an X shape through the knee joint. Toes are pointing out to opposite sides of the room. We're going to grab up for the shins, ankles, or the toes for a reclined cow face pose stretch. So we're stretching into the outer hips, into the glutes. So you're going to pull down either from your shin or ankle, straight down towards the floor, maintaining the bend through the knees. And slowly release. We'll switch sides. Reverse across your knees, switching the other direction. Don't worry if you got your right and left mixed up, as long as we switch. Grabbing for your shin, ankles, or foot, wherever you can reach along your legs. Toes are pointing out to the side. And we'll press straight down towards the floor, stretching into the outer hips of that bottom leg. So whichever leg you have on the bottom, where you should feel the stretch is in the outer hips, into the glutes. And we'll slowly release, taking the feet down towards the floor. If you like to make any last movements, feel free to go ahead and take those. Maybe a few windshield wipers side to side. Or you can come into happy baby, grabbing for the arches of the feet, rocking forwards and back, or side to side. And if you're ready, we can begin to make our way down into Shavasana, corpse pose. Feet will come to the edges of the mat. Take an inhale, stretch the arms up overhead. And exhale, relax completely. Taking up as much room as you need. Allow your body to come into complete stillness and relaxation. We'll gently close the eyes. Begin to slow down the breath. Letting go of any breath retention in the body. Relaxing the forehead, relaxing the jaws, softening the shoulders, softening the hips. Consciously relaxing the rest of the body, wherever you feel like you're holding tension. And we'll slowly start to reawaken the body, turning the head from side to side. Begin to turn out the wrists and the fingertips. Turn out your ankles, wiggling the toes. We'll pull the knees up and towards our chest, reaching the arms around. Give yourself a big hug, pulling ourselves up into a tiny little ball. And when you're ready, give yourself a rock and roll forward. And we'll make our way up into seated position, sitting up in easy pose with ankles crossed. Let's take a breath in together, reaching the arms up. Inhale, hands together. Exhaling, dropping hands down to heart center. We'll close our practice with one breath, share it together. Inhale, breathe in through your nose, fill the belly. Open the mouth, deep exhale. Breathing out, fully and completely. Thank you so much for joining me this morning and working hard through our Power Hour class. I hope you had a good workout, learned something new, and had a lot of fun. Thank you so much for practicing with me. My name is Kathie. If you like this video, please remember to give a thumbs up and tune in for weekly videos. So be sure to get those by clicking on the subscribe button. I hope to see you on the mat. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.